Well, howdy folks! It seems like everywhere you turn these days, someone is talking about a new way to eat. One of the biggest buzzwords flying around is intermittent fasting. It sounds a little intense, doesn't it? But really, it's not about starving yourself for weeks on end. It's simply about changing you eat, rather than just focusing on you eat. Instead of grazing all day long, you give your body a nice, long break between meals. Lots of people have jumped on this bandwagon, swearing it's the secret to feeling great and managing their weight. It's a whole different ballgame from the classic diet plans we've all known for years. For as long as I can remember, the go-to advice for losing weight was always pretty straightforward. Eat less, move more. We've all been there, counting every single calorie, measuring out portions, and feeling a little bit guilty about that extra helping of mashed potatoes. This traditional approach is all about creating a calorie deficit, meaning you burn more calories than you take in. It makes perfect sense, and it has certainly worked for many people over the decades. But it can also feel like a full-time job, keeping track of every little bite and sip that passes your lips. It makes you wonder if there's a simpler way to get to the same place. So here we are with two very different ideas about how to approach our health goals. On one side, you have the tried and true method of careful calorie counting, a steady and predictable path. On the other, you have this newer, trendier kid on the block intermittent fasting, which focuses on timing and gives you a bit more freedom during your eating periods. It's like comparing my trusty old pickup truck to a fancy new sports car. They'll both get you down the road, but they offer a completely different ride. The big question on everyone's mind is, does one really work better than the other? This very question has been the subject of countless kitchen table debates and late-night internet searches. Is it better to be a meticulous calorie accountant or a savvy meal timer? The good news is that we don't have to rely on guesswork or what your neighbor's cousin's friend said anymore. A huge, comprehensive new study recently dove deep into this exact topic, comparing these two popular approaches head-to-head. The researchers wanted to cut through all the noise and give us some clear, reliable answers. So get comfy, grab a cup of coffee, and let's unpack what they found out. It's a real game changer. All right, let's talk about this impressive piece of research. This wasn't just some small, quick and dirty experiment. We're talking about a massive review published in a major medical journal, which is a pretty big deal in the science world. Researchers from top-notch institutions, including the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, gathered up the results from a whopping 99 different clinical trials. All in all, they looked at data from over 6,500 participants. This makes it one of the largest and most thorough evaluations of intermittent fasting ever done. It's like rounding up all the prize-winning recipes from the county fair to find the absolute best one. So what exactly were they comparing? The study pitted intermittent fasting against the more traditional calorie-restricted diets. Think of it as a showdown between two heavyweights. In one corner, you have the fasters, and in the other, the calorie counters. The scientists wanted to see which group lost more weight and if there were any differences in other health markers, like blood pressure or cholesterol levels. They also compared both groups to people who were just eating their regular diet without any restrictions. This gave them a solid baseline to measure everything against, ensuring the results were clear and meaningful for all of us. Now, intermittent fasting isn't just one single plan. It's more like a family of diets. The study broke it down into three main types, which is super helpful. First, there's time-restricted eating. This is probably the most popular one, where you only eat during a specific window each day, like from noon to 8 p.m., and fast for the other 16 hours. Next up is whole-day fasting. This usually involves a plan like the 5-2 diet, where you eat normally for 5 days of the week and have 2 non-consecutive days of very low-calorie intake. It gives you a couple of rest days from regular eating. Finally, there's the most structured of the bunch alternate day fasting. This one is exactly what it sounds like. You alternate between a full day of fasting, or eating very, very little, and a day of eating whatever you want, no restrictions. It's a cycle of 1 day on, 1 day off. By looking at these three distinct styles, the researchers could get a much more detailed picture of how fasting works in its different forms. This level of detail is what makes this study so valuable. It doesn't just lump everything together, but helps us understand the specific nuances of each approach to find what might work for us. So, after all that number crunching and analysis, what did the study find? Drumroll, please. The big headline is that both intermittent fasting and traditional calorie-counting diets work. That's right, both methods were successful in helping people lose weight and improve some of those important cardiometabolic risk factors when compared to just eating normally. It turns out there's more than one road to get to health bill. The study showed that, on average, people following a traditional calorie-restricted diet lost just over 2 kilograms, which is about 4.4 pounds. That's a solid, respectable result that shows the classic method still holds up. Now, for the fasting crowd. The results here were also very encouraging and even a little bit better in some cases. Across the 3 different types of intermittent fasting, participants lost anywhere from about 1.5 to 3.5 kilograms, which translates to a range of 3.5 to 7.7 pounds. This tells us that changing you eat can be just as effective, if not slightly more so, than changing you eat. It validates what so many people have been experiencing firsthand, that giving your digestive system a regular break can really move the needle on the scale and help you reach your goals. Interestingly, the study found that one type of fasting seemed to have a slight edge. Participants who followed the alternate day fasting plan, the one with a full day of fasting followed by a day of regular eating, lost an average of 1.29 kilograms, or about 2.84 pounds, more than those on traditional diets. That's a pretty significant little bonus. On top of the extra weight loss, this group also saw some modest improvements in things like their blood pressure and cholesterol levels. It suggests that this more intense fasting schedule might kick things into a higher gear for some folks. But before you go and clear your calendar for fasting days, the lead author of the study, Gila Semnani Azad, pointed out something crucial. The key takeaway here isn't that one diet is the undisputed champion. Instead, it's all about flexibility. Since both approaches deliver similar benefits, the best diet is truly the one that you can stick with. It's not about finding a magic bullet, but about finding a sustainable rhythm that fits into the beautiful, busy, and sometimes chaotic reality of your own life. That's the real secret sauce for long-term success. While these results are incredibly exciting and give us so much clarity, the researchers are good scientists, so they remind us to keep a level head. They pointed out that more studies are needed over longer periods to see if these benefits hold up for years to come. We all know how it goes. You can be super motivated for a few weeks or months, but life happens. The real test of any eating plan is whether you can weave it into your life for the long haul, through holidays, vacations, and stressful work weeks. That long-term perspective is something science is still working to understand fully. Another important point they raised is something many of us have experienced, the dreaded weight loss plateau. Just like with traditional diets, it's possible that after a while on an intermittent fasting plan, your body might adapt. Your metabolism could slow down a bit to conserve energy, making it harder to continue losing weight at the same pace. They also noted that, just as easily as it comes off, weight can be regained over time if you fall back into old habits. This isn't a failure of the diet itself, but a simple reality of human biology. It's a marathon, not a sprint, folks. So, what does this all mean for you standing in your kitchen and wondering what to make for dinner? It means you have options. You have freedom. You don't have to force yourself into a one-size-fits-all box. If the idea of counting every calorie makes you want to run for the hills, maybe an approach like time-restricted eating would feel more liberating. But if you thrive on structure and love the predictability of a classic diet plan, then that is a wonderful and effective choice for you. The power is in your hands to choose the path that feels the most natural and joyful. Ultimately, this fantastic study empowers us all. It confirms that the best diet is not the one a celebrity is doing or the one that's trending on social media. The best diet is the one that respects your lifestyle, your preferences, and your happiness. Whether you're a rancher who needs a hearty breakfast to start the day or a busy mom who finds it easier to skip breakfast and have a later lunch, you can find a rhythm that works. Listen to your body, be patient with yourself, and choose the journey that you can not only start but also sustain. That's how you build a healthy life you love. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more science-backed health tips, and share your own experiences with intermittent fasting or traditional diets in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story and support each other on this journey.